I've been stuck for so long that I don't even know where to start anymore. If that's been running through your mind lately, I hear you. If you watch my last video, you're not lazy, you're carrying a trauma, you now understand where the survival mode comes from. But the question now is, where do you even start after you've been stuck for so long? Today, I want to give you the exact grounded tools that help me finally feel safe in my own body again. These are not fancy morning routines or overwhelming step-by-step plans you are more likely to skip or forget. They are not about chasing perfection. They are about creating small moments of safety you can build on. You can start implementing these gentle tools right away, wherever you are. If you ever felt anxious about being stuck in life, feeling like you've been running on empty for months or years, if every day feels like pushing through math while everyone else seems to be moving on with their lives, I want you to hear me. You're not alone, and you're not failing at your life, even if it feels like it. What you're feeling is a survival mode. It's your body and your mind trying to keep you safe. But trust me if I say it's not too late to start over and live your life the way you deserve. I want to be really honest with you. Healing isn't a straight line. Healing is messy. It's uncomfortable. It brings up emotions you thought you would bury it years ago. The healing doesn't mean the pain you've been carrying for so long never existed. It means that the damage no longer controls your life. You no longer let your past self hold you back from your future self. But the most important thing is that you don't need to fix everything at once. You just need to begin. Healing doesn't need to be perfect or overwhelming. You don't need 5 a.m. morning routine or bulletproof mindset. What you need are doable shifts that brings your body and your soul back to safety. There's a shift I made. Instead of thinking of healing as fixing myself, I started seeing it as giving myself safety, finally choosing myself. And that's what these tools I'm about to share with you will help you with. When you've been in a survival mode for a long time, you've been probably used to people saying things like, just relax, you just need to calm down. And if you're anything like me, every time you hear that, you think, well, if I could, I definitely would. Do you really think I really enjoy feeling like this? The truth is, when your nervous system has been on high alert for months, years, or even decades, relaxing isn't a button you can just press. Your body doesn't trust that it's safe yet. That's why the very first tool I want to give you is something so small, so simple, you can do anywhere, anytime without anyone even noticing. You know that feeling when you overwhelmed, your thoughts are racing, your chest feels tight, you are already predicting everything that could possibly go wrong. You don't have to fix your entire life in that moment. You just have to give yourself one safe breath. Repeat after me. Inhale through your nose for 4 count. And now exhale through your mouth for 6 count. Perfect. The slightly longer exhale is important. It signals your parasympathetic nervous system, the part of you that says, it's safe now. You can rest. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. What is she talking about? Breathing isn't going to solve all of my problems. And you're right. This tool isn't about making your problems magically disappear. It's about creating one tiny, undeniable signal of safety inside your body. A signal that over time starts to rewire your stress response. When I started doing this, I didn't even call it a practice. I just did it in a moment when I felt like I was going to snap, shut down, or fall apart, sitting on my bed, in my bedroom, thinking my life over, sitting in my car after an exhausting day at work before I get back home, lying in a bed at night when my mind wouldn't stop replaying every mistake I thought I would make. The power of this tool is in its simplicity. There's no equipment, no special timing, no perfect setting. You can do it on a train, in your car, in your class, in a meeting, if you have a kid, while your kids are playing, or even in the middle of a fight and no one has to know. And when you do this regularly, your body starts to memorize it. It remembers what it feels like to be safe, even if you do it just for a few seconds, because these seconds add up every time. Maybe that one breath today is the only thing you can manage, and that's okay. It's not about breathing perfectly. You don't need to force calm. You just need to give yourself that one safe pose and breathe as often as you can. It's enough to remind yourself you're still here. You've survived every moment so far. You can survive this one too. If you enjoyed this breathing technique, you will love my micro movement mornings. Now, you've probably seen these morning routine videos all over the social media. You know that one where somehow people always wake up at 4 or 5 a.m. in the morning, meditate for 20 minutes, journal 3 pages, read a chapter of a book, do yoga, write out their goals for the day, and somehow still have time to feed a sourdough starter before breakfast. Now, if you're in a survival mode, even watching these videos can feel exhausting and overwhelming. And how do I know that? Because I felt the exact same way when I first started healing. Back when I was burnt out, I would wake up, go through my to-do list for that day, and before I even got out of bed, I already felt like I failed the day. So I would set up a huge unrealistic plan for the morning to prove myself I was serious about changing. What will happen instead? I would crash by the day 3 if I was lucky enough to last that long. And then I would feel even more hopeless and worthless because I couldn't even stick to the easiest thing. That's why I started with micro move mornings. It's not the one of the perfect morning routine. It's one simple action you can choose to start your day with that tells your body and your mind you're ready to start, even if you start small and slow. Here's how it works. As soon as you wake up, instead of thinking about everything you have to do, think about this one small thing you can do right after you get out of bed that will make you just 1% better. It might be anything from opening the curtains to let the light in, pouring yourself a glass of water and drinking it slowly in quiet, opening the window and having a few deep breaths of a fresh morning air. Who doesn't like that? Playing one song that you love while you're brushing your teeth. Please try to avoid sad songs if you can. Or lighting up a candle before you start getting ready. In survival mode, your nervous system is often stuck in fight, flight, or freeze mode. It's braced for the day before the day even starts. But these tiny, intentional actions, these micro moves, sends a subtle signal to your body and your mind you're not in danger. You can start gently, and this is powerful because it's doable. Your brain doesn't feel overwhelmed by the idea of a massive morning routine because it's committing to one simple thing at a time. And that's enough to start shifting your mind out of autopilot. I remember my first micro move was simply setting up my morning alarm 30 minutes earlier and taking my supplements with a glass of lemon water. And the more I practiced, slowly, my body, my mind learned that there was a new day and I was still here, ready to start the day with excitement, not feeling overwhelmed before even opening my eyes. And after time, that 30 minutes of waking up earlier rolled into 4 or 5 a.m. morning routine. And I added morning exercises to my routine right after taking supplement. Now, you don't have to copy what worked for me. It's about finding your own micro move that works for you. And if you take only one thing from this tool, let it be this. You don't have to overhaul your morning routines to change your life. You just have to create one small, safe moment and let that moment grow naturally over time. Have you ever heard of anchor objects? Did you know that your body in survival mode becomes a library of triggers, a tone of voice, a certain smell, the way someone looks at you? Sometimes these triggers make sense. Sometimes it comes out of nowhere. That's because trauma isn't just in your mind, it's in your body. Your nervous system remembers even if you're not consciously thinking about it. And when it thinks you in danger, it reacts instantly. For years, I didn't know how to pull myself back from these moments. I would either overreact, shut down, or spiral. And after that, I would feel guilty or embarrassed. That's when I discovered the power of anchor objects. An anchor object is something small, tangible, and meaningful that you can carry with you. So you can hold it, you can touch it, or look at it whenever you feel unsafe or triggered. It acts like a lifeline, pulling you back into the present moment and reminding you and your body of safety. Your anchor object could be anything from a small gift from someone you love, a ring or bracelet, a funny note, or a picture that makes you smile, even a small pack of your favorite sweet. For me, there were two small pictures that my daughter drew for me that I was carrying at the back of my clear phone case. They brought a smile on my face every time I looked at them. Whenever I felt myself spiraling, I would just look at the back of my phone and smile. It reminded me that I was still here, breathing and living, not only for myself, but my daughter. And this works because it gives your body a physical clue that breaks the mental loop of fear. When you are in a flight or fight mode, you're often trapped in your head, playing out worst case scenarios. Having your own anchor object engages your senses, pulling you out of the storm and back into the present. It's your personal signal of safety that no one else needs to know about. Small and simple, but powerful. Sometimes safety fits in the palm of your hand. But safety isn't just about what we hold, it's about what we allowed ourselves. If you ever grew up in an environment where your needs were ignored, dismissed, or punished, you probably learned early on that you had to earn your rest, earn your voice, earn your right to take up space. I know that pain too well. Even after I ended all toxic relationships, I still had the voice at the back of my head. You should be doing more. You can't say no. People will leave if you disappoint them. But these were not my beliefs. They were scripts I was handed. And if no one else was going to rewrite them for me, I decided to do it for myself. That's when I started writing permission slips. It's exactly what it sounds like. A short note to yourself, giving yourself explicit permission to do things you've been told it was selfish or lazy or it was too much to do. Mine said things like, it's safe to rest today if you feel exhausted. You don't have to earn it. I'm allowed to say no without explaining myself over and over and over again. My needs matter too, and it's okay to put myself first. At first, it felt silly, but I stuck them on my fridge, on my bedroom mirror, and I set them as a phone background. And every time I saw them, a tiny part of me softened. It works because your brain learns through repetition. You've been told the opposite message for years. So you need to feed your mind the truth over and over until it feels natural. And over time, you won't just read your permission slips. You will start believing them. You will say no without explaining yourself. You will finally rest without guilt. You will speak up without rehearsing every word or won't feel guilty for putting yourself first. Today, I just want you to write one simple permission slip, put it somewhere you will see it tomorrow morning. And when that old voice tries to argue with you, you can point at it and say, no, today I've given myself permission. And sometimes permission is just a space to come back to the present moment. Living in a survival mode, you don't even realize how easy you can get pulled into the past or thrown into the future without even knowing. A simple text from someone reminding you of an ugly fight you had years ago, or how unfairly someone treated you or disrespected you. Meeting someone on the street sends you back to a moment you've tried to forget because it was too painful. Or you start imagining everything that could possibly go wrong tomorrow, next week, or even next year. And before you know it, you're not even here. You're in the middle of some mental movie that's stealing your peace. That's why I love the stop, name, notice, pause. The moment you feel yourself getting hijacked by thoughts or emotions, you stop. You pause whatever you're doing, even just for a second. Quickly name 3 things you can see. A window, a pattern on the wall, a plant. Notice your feet on the floor and try to feel the weight of your body being held up. This tool purpose is to interrupt the stress loop and force your attention into the present moment, which is safer than your body thinks it is. Back when I was in a survival mode, this was happening to me very often, and I didn't know how to stop that feelings, how to make it go away. Then I started practicing this tool, and I would do it for 5, 6, 7, even 10 times a day in the middle of a work meeting. Sometimes I had to stop driving a car just to do this to feel safe again. It even worked for my panic attacks. Over time, my brain learned that I wasn't back there anymore. I was present, and being fully present was okay. Don't get me wrong. This is not about ignoring your feelings. It's about creating a break between you and the flood of fear and emotions so you can decide how to respond without emotional breakdown. It doesn't cost you anything, and that peace it gives you in that moment, priceless. You've just had 5 of the simplest self-help tools that help me start feeling safe again and help me to rewrite my story after being anxiously stuck in survival mode for years. I want you to remember this, love. You don't have to do them all at once. You don't have to get it perfect. This isn't a test you can pass or fail. Healing isn't about flipping a switch. It's about learning to bring yourself home, learning and practicing self-love until it feels natural to be there. Some days, it might mean taking a 5 safe breaths before you get out of bed. Other days, it might mean writing a permission slip and actually believe it. And some days, it might mean doing nothing but resting. Every single small choice you make to protect your peace, every time you choose to be gentle and mindful to yourself, every moment you remind your body that it's safe, it's a part of a work. Even if you can't see the change yet, it's happening. I know how heavy it feels when you've been stuck for so long. I know how far better can seem. But I need you to hear me when I say it's not too late for you. You are exactly where you need to be to take your next step to start over. So maybe today you just want to try one of these tools. And if that's all what you can manage, it's enough. The most important is to give yourself the try to finally heal because you've survived so much already. Give yourself permission to do something more than surviving. Give yourself permission to live again. If this spoke to you, I would love you to tell me in the comment which tool you're going to try first, which tool resonated with you the most. And if you want to keep walking this path together, you can subscribe my free weekly newsletter from the other side. Remember, you're not alone. See you next video. And until then, be kind to yourself. Kisses.